Oh, I'm Middle Fair, blogging from paradise. Using the camera on the lappy, that's what we're going to run with right now. It's a little better over there, a little better over there. No, that's okay. My wife behind me. Do what you got to do. Huh?
You like?
No, but I'm still going to keep it.
Oh, you're filming.
Yeah, I'm still going to keep it. You all set? Thank you. All right, guys, I'm going to keep that because I'm just silly like that. All right, should you bail on social media as a blogger? Now, you've heard a lot of debate, free speech, and politics, and all this other jazz. And what I personally say is you have to determine whether you use social media from a high energy of love and unity and harmony, but in addition to that, whether you are actually conversing with targeted, loyal, interested readers who are visiting your blog through social. Now, you could use social just as a place to meet with friends and keep it super positive and connect with people. That's all well and good. But if you're using it for that sole end, you're going to be using it just for a little bit of your day because you're a professional blogger, or in my case, is an aspiring professional blogger. So if you're using social and you really would like to drive traffic through it and just use it as a marketing channel where you're actually making money and driving traffic through your social media, you're going to have to ask yourself some real hard, maybe uncomfortable questions. Ultimately, what are you doing with social media? How are you providing value to human beings? How are you making friends? And most importantly, are your readers there? And I think when most of us look at social media, you're going to have some readers there, but unless you've built this massively loyal following on Twitter and Facebook, you'll have some success and drive some traffic and boost some profits through social. But ultimately, for most bloggers, the greatest success is just in blogging, your own blog, of course. Some bloggers, they're doing the SEO bit, they're doing the Google bit, but really, persistence in publishing blog posts and persistence in publishing guest posts. That doesn't mean that's the only way, but you have to personally ask yourself, okay, here's the deal. Why am I using social? Who am I connecting with? Are my loyal readers there? Have I built a big following? And then you also have to ask yourself this very, again, it may be uncomfortable question going forward. Going forward, maybe you've been attached to social media as a profits and traffic driver for you, which is cool. So let's say both through Twitter and Facebook. I just want to keep it like this. But you have to ask yourself going forward, do you think social media, do you think Twitter's user base is going to grow? Do you think Facebook's user base is going to grow? It may, but when sites have a very strict narrative and they're like, we say this is okay and that's not okay and we're going to ban these people and censor these people, and whatever reason they use, it's always fear. And whenever you use fear to silence someone, and this is not political, this is basic psychology, it proves that they're sharing some truth that you don't want people to hear. But you'll say it's dangerous and we're doing it for your safety and security. It's always fear. So whenever you use fear to silence someone, that's not freedom of speech. So millions and millions of people will continue to leave these networks that say, wait a second. And they'll have all different types of reasons, but it's a core tenet of freedom. You can't say this because, and other people are like, okay, goodbye. And there'll be a lot of anger and it won't be anger. But for me, I'm moving away from social. I deleted all that stuff, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter off my phone. And I'll just check in for 5 to 10 minutes a day through my laptop. It's me seeing down the road, Now people will run to other sites and then those sites will vanish instantly. They'll run to other sites that may kind of thrive for a little bit and then kind of just like a moth around the flame, and that goes away. So Facebook and Twitter are going to be around for a while, but they're just going to progressively get smaller because, number one, based on them not so much silencing the president's account or certain people, but just when social sites are saying you can't share your thoughts. Number one, they're going to be closing some accounts down. And number two, tens of millions of other people are going to see that and say, I don't want anything to do with that. So that's where social media is headed. I mean, let's not be silly. Facebook's not going to get a billion more users by doing what they're doing. They're going to move a lot more towards getting a billion less users. And that's just natural. This is not any big mystery to people that know basic psychology. So that's one of the reasons why I'm moving away. Each user base is going to become smaller. It's going to not gain users. It's going to become less and less because they're censoring, and that's not anything other than the truth. You see, less people could share their thoughts, or you're banned. Then those people are not only are you knocking down your user base, but less people are going to use it. So that's one reason for me. Another reason is I look at social, just for me personally, I keep it super positive and high energy, but I look at it as building somebody else's empire, somebody else's real estate, because every piece of content I create on there, every connection, that's owned by somebody else, not me. So I'll spend more time on Blogging from Paradise and on my friends' blogs. We all own our blogs. We set the rules. We'll build each other's empires, and that's okay. I'll still keep social open, posting, stuff I've posted on my blog, and then also as a channel of communication. I'm not writing them off, but I'm just not going to use them but for, 5 or 10 minutes a day. And that's okay. Guest posting, blogging, commenting generally on blogs, connect with other bloggers. That's me. But ultimately, you have to ask yourself, guys, it's different for everybody. I'm just sharing my energetic intent where I'm going with. And it's a little longer video, but I just thought it would be worth exploring. Because for bloggers, it's time to say, okay, what am I doing on social? Should I bail? Should I stick around? If you do stick around, check out your strategy. See what you're doing. Are you being effective? Are you being efficient? What's the energy? And here's another key point too. For me, Twitter, independent of their narrative, you always see the news items on the side with trending, even if it's worldly. First, for a while it was US, and I'm like, okay. And then I took that off. My wife Kelly's like, put world trends. Maybe you'll avoid US politics. It doesn't matter. Now it's always dominated by US politics. So that's all fear and negativity and division. So every time I'd open Twitter, I'd see that, even if I tried to block it. So that was a decision for me too. I'm like, do I want to be a part of fear and pain and suffering and division? And anybody with eyes open, with your mind open, you're going to be like, yeah, there's no love there. It's not like when you first saw your kid, that super love moment when you first met your wife, or you met old friends you haven't seen in 20 years or even 10 years. That's those super love moments. There's none of that on the sidebar. So if it's fear, I'm like, no, I'm not going to let that in either. So that's just my thought process, not even my thought process, my feeling process through it all. So guys, that's it for today. Leave me a comment below on Rumble, not on my blog. Good reason for that too. And if you enjoyed this video, share it with your friends. Until next time, you know what to do. Enjoy paradise, everybody.